Hello and welcome back to Star Citizen. My name is Evenlease, and today on 10 Minutes More or Less Ship Review, right behind me, the ANVIL ARROW, a light fighter. Let's go ahead, take a look. Alright, welcome back to another review. Today, the ANVIL ARROW. And now, before I get started, I just want to let you know I really appreciate every one of you. The past week and a half, I haven't been posting nearly as many videos, and that's just because, well, I've been working a lot more. As well, my son's about to go back to school, so I've been taking care of some medical issues before doing that, and also just spending more time with the family. So, I appreciate every one of you. I love reading all the comments I get on my videos that are posted right now. I think it's awesome. And I got another giveaway coming up here soon and more things coming. I got a lot more videos coming. It's going to be very exciting. We're getting into the last part of the year now. And so hopefully the future of Star Citizen for the year 2024 looks bright. We're about to see, right? I'm still very hopeful. I know there's a very vast crowd right now that doesn't have any hope that Cloud Imperium Games is going to get the update 4.0 out before the end of the year, but I am staying hopeful that we will see it live on the servers come December 17th, but we will see. It's going to be interesting. I mean, I played Pyro last CitizenCon, and I thought it felt great. Now it's just about implementing the server meshing, right? So let's go ahead and get into this ship's review. Don't want to waste too much time here. This is a light fighter. This is a light fighter by ANVIL. This is called the Arrow. Welcome to the review. Now, this ship is $75 if you were to buy it on the Pledge store with real money, or if you buy it in-game, it is 1,984,500 AUEC. It is a very small and agile fighter, so it can definitely do some damage to the right ships with the right pilot. Now, this ship only outputs 886 DPS. Oh, by the way, all these stats that I'm telling you, they are 3.24. There is no difference between 3.23 and 3.24 with this ship, other than a 12 DPS drop-off. In 3.23, it has 898 DPS, so not much of a difference there. Continuing on, it has 886 DPS because of two size 1 Yellow Jacket GT210s on the top, with a very limited amount of ammo, under 1,100 rounds for those guns, which is kind of sad. The second you run out of ammo, those guns are now kaput, and you are in the battle with the remaining two size 3 CF337 Panthers, one on each wing, which you have to be very careful about, because if you lose a wing, you could potentially lose a gun. Even though the wing cutoff is here, I've seen it to where these guns have been knocked off as well. And then outside of that, you also have 3 size 2 Dominator 2 missiles and 3 size 2 Ignite 2 missiles. So a decent missile payload on top of those guns. The biggest positive about this ship is its maneuverability, right? It's very small, very hard to hit, and it can maneuver around bigger ships like the F8 or a Corsair or whatnot. Now, I wouldn't want to face some of these other ships just because you are very limited on your firepower, and you're going to have to be sitting there, pelting the crap out of a ship with your laser repeaters for quite a long time before you can actually do anything. But it's not to say you can't. The guns recharge, right? So it is very possible to attack bigger ships than you with this and come out successful. It just depends on who you're facing and, how good of a pilot you are. Now, this ship, if you do get into a fight, which why would you have this ship if you're not getting into fights, has 1,500 bubble shields, so you got to be very careful about how much, damage you do take. And that percentage of, well, not percentage, but that amount of bubble shield is actually lower than many other ships in this class. The 325A, the Gladius, they both have 3,000 bubble shield, among many other ships that are cheaper or just a little bit more expensive that have more shield than this as well. you don't have much protecting you and protecting your small health pool before you needing to get the heck out of Dodge. It has 8,680 ship HP. That is only a couple hundred more than the 325A and about 1,400 more than the Gladius. Surprisingly, the Gladius, being a more expensive ship, has worse stats than this. Now, that is something. This ship completely relies on its maneuverability as well as its small, agile look. Once you actually get into the cockpit and, turn your engines on and pull your landing gear up, these wings do fold down, and it makes this ship a lot less of a, tall target, which is pretty cool. Now, when it comes down to speed, it's not the fastest in its class. The 325A actually outpaces it quite considerably, but it's still decent. Sitting at 232 SCM with a 515 forward boost and a 265 backwards boost, as well as a 1,210 nav speed. So it's definitely not terrible, and it could be terrible, but it's definitely, a little bit more than average, I'd say. The Gladius is a bit slower, and it's a bigger ship, obviously, but got bigger engines than this one, I feel. Now, taking a look at this ship, you aren't going to go that far. You don't have that big of a quantum fuel tank. You're sitting at 671 quantum fuel. So again, this ship is for short hops. You go from station to station, planet to station, et cetera, or carrier to station, whatever you want to do. It just has to be very short distances because the ship is just meant to, kind of take off, go hit a target kind of close, come back, refuel, do that over and over again. It's, not meant for long distances. It's just got a cockpit, no bed, no situation like that. Very light fighter, very cool. When you have a Kraken someday and you have 10 of these on top, I don't think anybody's going to really want to mess with you. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get in the cockpit and go and get into a fight with some AI bounties. For some reason, my player bounties are broken. I haven't had player bounty contracts in, I'd say, since 3.23. Hooray! All right, as prior times when getting into a fight, I'm just going to go ahead and mute my mic and we'll see what we can do. Let's go ahead and get right into it.
Okay.
Again, this ship, compared to others in its class, in its area, like the Gladius, the 325A, I mean, honestly, you have the least amount of stock DPS with this ship. It's extremely agile and a very small ship, so that's kind of like the benefit. But it's just kind of a miss for me with the pricing on the ship. I feel like if this thing was $60 or, 1.2 million in game, it would be totally a better price point, because right now it's kind of too high. I feel like this feels like a very starter fighter, like, hey, this is the first time I want to be in a dedicated fighter, I'm gonna pick this thing. That's kind of where I feel like the ship is, and I feel like it needs that price drop to kind of fit that role, because it's very small, it's very fragile, and in the right hands, this thing could be a menace, right? But most people that start off this game and see a ship priced at $75 aren't going to be at that point for a pretty long time. Now, if I was to personally give this thing a score, and I am basing this off of like the price point, the damage output, the terrible shields, quantum fuel is kind of what it is. It's just the size of the ship. It's what the ship's meant to be. It's not supposed to go long distances. And then I'm also basing that score on other factors like other ships in its range. And how does it compete, right? Because you want to know what you're buying. Honestly, this ship here for me is a 6 out of 10. It really did get a power creep, and a lot of ships have kind of put this thing, kind of into the dust, right? So that's where my score sits, 6 out of 10. Honestly, it could be much higher for a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people will probably think the ship's a straight 10 out of 10, and some people will think the ship's a 2 out of 10. Honestly, it really just depends on what type of pilot you are and what you're looking for your ship to do, and how you feel in the ship. Some ships that are absolutely terrible just feel fantastic in your hands, right? It's just all about what you like. So again, thank you guys for watching. What do you think of the ANVIL Arrow? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.